Techno update. Subscribe now.
Elephone P8 Mini Review. Mini Design and Build. The P8 Mini has several things in its favor when it comes to design. For a start, it's genuinely nice to see a 5-inch smartphone with a full HD screen. So many of the budget to mid-range phones we review have massive 5.5-inch panels that are simply too big for some people's taste. Children are a perfect example, and with little hands they're much more likely to drop and break some of those larger handsets. And despite all this plastic, the P8 Mini still has a reasonably premium-looking design, with minimal bezels and a very slight 8.1mm width. It also feels pretty sturdy, with no obvious flexing or creaking as you apply pressure to the frame. It's the capacitive key labels below the screen and the toy-like lightweight, just 133 grams, that give away its budget price. The display is a full HD panel from Sharp that Elephone says acts like a mold. It's certainly vibrant, with the same saturated colors we'd expect to see on a mold, and viewing angles are strong. It's not as bright as the panel you might see on a flagship. We measured a maximum 350 CD/M2, but of course this is no flagship. Clarity, though, is very good, with the 1920 by 1080 pixel resolution resulting in a density of 440 pixels per inch, higher than on an iPhone. Everything is where you would expect to find it, with a slot-loading SIM tray on the left edge. This can accommodate either 2 nano SIM cards, dual standby, or a nano SIM plus a microSD card up to 128 GB in capacity, and a volume rocker and power button on the right. Down the bottom is a micro USB port. Reversible USB-C is now found in some budget phones, but is not yet a given. A 3.5mm headphone jack and a row of drilled-out holes from which the mono speaker can emit sound. It's not the best audio quality, but it's loud enough. Hardware and performance. The Elephone P8 Mini runs an octa-core MediaTek MT6750T processor. With 8 Cortex-A53 cores running at 1.5 GHz and a generous 4 GB of RAM, multitasking is quite possible on this budget phone, though its integrated ARM Mali T860 GPU isn't up to much more than watching video and playing casual games. Of course, where this P8 Mini differs from the Moto G5 is in storage, and while both support microSD up to 128 GB, the Elephone offers a huge 64 GB internal capacity compared to the Moto G5's 16 GB. The battery capacity is slightly lower than that of the Moto G5, rated at 2680 mAh against its 2800 mAh, but it should last a full day with medium usage. You can always add a power bank if required. The turbocharge-compatible Moto G5 will charge faster though, with only a 1.5A charger supplied in the box for this Elephone. Cameras. The cameras are going to be one of the key specifications to convince consumers to buy this phone. On paper they sound amazing, a 16MP selfie camera plus a dual camera. However, we should say that the main rear camera is rated at 13MP, in common with the Moto G5, and the second lens is a basic 2MP snapper that can create very basic bokeh effects. The single LED flash isn't up to much in low light, so things look a lot more impressive on paper than the results appear in reality. The selfie camera has a huge megapixel rating at 16MP, but as we know that doesn't always make for a decent quality photo. Snaps are very clear with standard settings, but it's easy to overdo things on the beauty mode and create an unnatural level of skin smoothing. The soft flash can help a little in low light, but it's by no means a perfect solution. Software. The P8 Mini runs an up-to-date version of the Android 7.0 Nougat operating system, apparently with the L1.0 OS over the top. To us it looks exactly like standard Android, and doesn't appear to include the extra apps other reviewers have mentioned.